Well, welcome everyone. It's so nice to see so many folks here from all over the world. Um, and excited to get started and share a lot more about Padlet TA today. To get started, I'm going to share a resource that we'll be using today. I'll just orient you briefly to the site here. You have some tabs over here on the right-hand side. I know you've found chat. You also have a Q&A section that you can click to in the upper right of your screen. And you also have a tab called handouts that'll show the resource for today. And I'll put that in the chat one more time. If you want to join me on this Padlet, the first thing I have for you to do is answer these two polls. So this is something you can add to on a Padlet board right now. And one of the attachment types is polls. So my first two questions for you are, what is your experience using Padlet TA? It's okay if you're totally new to it. It's a pretty new tool for us. Just wondering if you've used it before. And then also, what age students do you teach? I saw a little bit in the chat, some people's roles, but if you wouldn't mind answering that, and I'll put it one more time in the chat since I know a lot is happening in there. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's pretty early here in San Francisco. So Julia and I are just waking up, but excited to see everyone. And I see some results coming in here, so I'll show these results. Thanks for participating on these polls. Just while we're here, I'll just show you that on a Padlet board like this, in case you're newer to Padlet, you can make all kinds of posts when you're making a board. And the way I made this Padlet was I added lots of text and images, and I added polls by making use of some of these attachments. So this is the poll attachment. It's a really fun thing you can do in your classes if you want feedback in the middle of a lesson, or if you just want to get opinions or information like I'm doing right now about who the audience is. So great. It looks like there's some experience using Padlet TA, and looks like most of the folks here are teaching either university or adults. So that's great to know as we look at some of the examples. I know we do have some folks teaching the younger grades as well. Okay, and my next question, I saw this also a little bit in the chat, but it says fun to do on map some. I'm just going to zoom out here. It looks like some folks are already participating here on this map. Oh yeah, could we add to the where are you from? Yes, exactly. Yes, that's what we're doing next. So if you want to come to this board, I'll just put it one more time here. So this is the where are you from board. If you want to participate on here, it's always fun to see everyone popping up on the map. So come over to this board, and as more people add, it's just going to maybe zoom into some different places. But you're going to click on the plus in the lower right. As I mentioned, I'm in San Francisco. So you can just add the name of your place if you want, but I also encourage you to try out one of our attachments. If you want to add an image about where you're from, you could just search for an image or make an AI image. Wow, I see a lot of people popping up already. Thanks for participating. So I'm going to search for images about San Francisco, see what it comes up with, add that. And even if you've already made a post, you can go back to that post and edit it if you want. So come back to my post, I can always click in the right-hand corner, and then I can add more to it if I want to add an attachment or more information there. I'll put this link one more time in the chat so you can join us. Wow, it's great to see where everyone's from. Looks like we have quite a few folks, both on the East Coast of the US and here in Europe, but a few other folks as well. It's always fun seeing some points on the map, far places from here. Lovely. Fun to see some images popping up. I kind of want to zoom in. So on these maps, this is based on Google Maps, and you can zoom in or zoom out. So I was looking at the whole world just then, but if I wanted to kind of zoom in even down to the city or street level, I could come all the way down here and look at something more specific. So these maps are really fun for all kinds of instruction. You could do historical maps, you could do current day phenomena, different sites around the world, or do something like this, have people about where their families are from, or if you're working with an international group, where they are now. All right. And thanks for the questions already come. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat a little bit, but Julia is also going to help me out. And if you want to make sure that she sees your question, go ahead and click over to the Q&A tab, and then it'll just be a little easier to find. But I love all the chatting over there, and we'll try to keep an eye on that as well. I'll show you all one more time how you could add an image. And if you want to make a second post on here, you can do that too. So you click on the plus button in the lower right. And then first you say the name of the location. So I'll put my location. And then here's where you can add an attachment. And the easiest way is to go to plus 15, and then you'll see all the different attachment types. One of them is image here. So if I want to search for image, I can just actually search for something right up here. But if I want to click on that, it's right down here at the bottom too. And then you can find something you want to add. Wow, this is great. Okay, well, thanks for participating on there. It's really great to see where people are from. Feel free to keep adding posts on there. It's always fun to get started that way. And I'll just introduce our session here. So we are talking about new features in our new tool called Padlet TA. And it looks like several people have tried it already, but not everyone. So people are newer to that. I'm going to come back to my slideshow and introduce ourselves. I know that some of you have been here before, so coming back if you've come to these webinars in the past. My name is Zareen Levien. I'm the Education Marketing Manager here. I taught for a long time in public education at a number of different levels. These are some of my former students, and I taught elementary and high school, and I taught a little bit of university level to service teachers. So it was really exciting to see how different people use digital tools, including Padlet, to really hear students' voices and to get everyone to participate and to have fun. Like I already feel the fun happening this morning with everyone's participation on the map. And that's often what I feel like in the classroom when I'm using Padlet with students in this way to get an activity started. And also really excited that we have Julia with us today. Julia, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Julia Carnes, the product marketing manager at Padlet. I've been here for over 5 years, which is very exciting, but TA is a very new tool, so I feel that we're kind of all on the same page as we develop it together and learn more. So Zareen and I have an agreement until I know more about TA than she does. She's going to lead the webinars, so that's why we have this set up. But I'm learning more every day, and I'm here to answer your questions in the chat and the Q&A. So feel free to drop a message in there, and I'll try to type as fast as I can to get back to you.
Well, we might have an argument about this, Julie, because I think you know just as much, if not more, than me. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You might be leading these pretty soon. Well, I'm glad you're here with us today. We have a lot of folks on the call, so we'll try to get to all your questions. I saw one other question in the chat. Deeply into Padlet today, but I do want to show you if you're curious how to make a map. I saw that question in the chat. I'm going to come back to Padlet. Anyone can create a Padlet account for free. And once you create a free account, you can come to the make page. And our kind of traditional Padlet, if you've been using Padlet before, are our blank boards. So you just click to create a blank board, and then you choose the map format. So it's really easy, really quick to set up. And then you have a map, you can share that link with others and they can participate the way you all are now. All right, well, I will move us ahead to get into our agenda. I'll talk a little just briefly about the difference between Padlet and Padlet TA. And then I'll share a bunch of examples that you can explore with me and you can explore later also. And I'll dive into our new interactive activities, which are super fun and something we're really focusing on with our Padlet TA tool activities that your students can play with. And they're really like games. So they're a lot of fun, but you can customize them. And we have a lot of resources for you. We'll keep sharing the resources in the chat for this main board. And then I'll share some others at the end too. So just quickly, the difference between Padlet and Padlet TA. So this is a Padlet board that I'm on now. It has post boxes on it. You can have all different kinds of attachments here, and it's very collaborative. So like on our map Padlet, everyone's on here together. On these polls, you can all participate together. The TA is a little bit different, and you can find it right here under at the top menu here, or I'll also put the direct link. It's just ta.padlet.com. So I'll put that link in the chat as well. So here is ta.padlet.com. And this one, instead of making a collaborative board, it makes a bunch of other things. It makes documents like lesson plans, presentations, things you can print out, whether they're worksheets or coloring sheets or other information, reading passages. And this is the new area, interactive activities. So we've had a few of these and we keep adding to them. And I'm really excited to show you these. These you can print out if you want to, but you can also play them online. So you can share a play link with your students and they can play those right here. And Padlet TA isn't collaborative. So in one way it is collaborative because you'll be sharing this with students, but it's not an online collaborative space the way Padlet is. So I really think they're great to use together. You might have a discussion or a participatory activity where everyone sees each other's responses on a Padlet board. And then on Padlet TA is a place for you to make activities, resources, documents that you can use to share with your students. All right. So, and then actually on the bottom here, I'll also share there's a bunch of utilities. So if you just want to make an AI image or a short link or a group, you can do that here. You got in a Padlet board also, but sometimes you just want to do that and have the resource separately. So that's what this tool is all about. And I know some of you have used it before. If you've used it before, you might have noticed it had a little makeover recently. It used to have some really bright colors, which we thought were fun, but we got a lot of feedback that these kind of like rainbow colors were a little bit more accessible for everyone. So we've adjusted that. And that's another thing with Padlet and Padlet TA especially. We really appreciate your feedback. Oh, great. And I have a question about, can you embed a Padlet TA activity in a Padlet? Yeah, you can, and I'll show you how to do that. It's you can't play it right on a Padlet, but actually on the bottom of this board, I've linked to several TA activities, and that's often a way I like to run a lesson is using a Padlet as my landing page and then having some different links to activities and things we're going to do there. Okay, so that's kind of the difference between the two, and we're going to focus more on Padlet TA, and we'll share lots of other resources if you want to learn more about Padlet. Um, Padlet TA is, we've tried to be really specific about giving you high quality tools for education. And you can kind of think about it like ChatGPT for teachers. We've set up these different kind of documents that are specific education, like lesson plans and multiple choice quizzes and reading passages. So you can prompt those, and we have a special educational model that we use so that it'll make good materials for you and your students based on their level and grade level and subject and all of that. It's also easy to import and export things. And I'll show you some of that in a minute if you want to import a lesson plan or document you already have and make more related materials. Or afterward, you make something, you can export it into many different formats, documents, PDFs, put it into Google or into Padlet. So there's lots of different options to export it also. Some things where Padlet and Padlet TA crossover is that they use the same login. So if you have a Padlet login, if you're logged into your account, you can use that same login in Padlet TA. And I recommend that you log in. Padlet TA is totally free. You can make as many documents as you want. If you log in, you can save some things. You can have a teacher profile where you have your grade level and curriculum standards, and that'll help inform the prompts and give some more context to what you make. It'll also allow you to save your history. So if I come over to my history, all the Padlet TA prompts that I've made are here. And so I often come back here to try to find something that I was working on. And you can even filter by which tool. So if I'm trying to remember, oh, which was that multiple choice quiz that I made, I can come back here and hear all the quizzes that I've made. And I can click back into any to find it again, share the link and that kind of thing. Okay, so that's a little bit more about TA and how it works. Now I would love to show you some examples. So actually, first I'm going to make some examples live on the site to show you how you would do that. And you can do this along with me as well. I'll put the link to Padlet TA back in the chat. So if you want to click around in here while I'm showing you things, you're welcome to do that and try making your own materials. Or you can watch me do it and see how it works first as you're getting started. So the first one I wanted to do is show you what it looks like if I were going to take an article or document that I have and put it at a different reading level. So I'm going to come to text leveler. This is something that I often wanted to do with my students, is take a document. So make this document at third grade level, or for 8-year-olds if you're not on the US grade. So I'm going to put a link in here, or I could also put an attachment here if I wanted to. And so it's going to take this news article. I'll show you what this news article looks like. So here's just kind of a regular news article about animal shelters, written at an older level. And for my readers who struggle a little bit or need extra support, I want to make a version of this, but I still want to give them the same content. So here it's making the same article, the same content, simplifying it a little bit for readers who need a lower reading level. And now I was mentioning this, I could just copy this output, or I could export it to all these formats. So I could put it over to Google Docs, or as a PDF, I just want to print it. I could put it into a Padlet if I want to have a collaborative activity about it. And then I could make another version of this that's at an older level. So I could generate it again, and it's going to make this same article. If I wanted to keep those individual copies, I create this whole thing, and then I would have those different levels of this passage. So I really like that. And I know that even for when we're teaching university or adults, it's something that I hear so often, is that students have a variety of reading levels, and it's really helpful to be able to give them the content in a simplified text level for them. So there it is at an older reading level. So you can make multiple copies of this and share these with students to give them access to the information. All right. Oh yes, and the text leveler can be used in a variety of languages. All the tools on Padlet TA can be used in all the languages, and when you log in, you can also change your default language, so the whole interface is in the language of your choice. I'll show you one more coming down into our interactive activities. So under multiple choice is one of them. So I'm going to click on multis. And this time I'm going to start from a file. So if you've already uploaded a file, it'll be there for you, or you can just upload a new one. So I had a lesson plan that I was already using, an anatomy lesson plan. And I wanted to make a multiple choice quiz about that lesson. So I just I could put in more information about what kind of questions I want or how many questions. And this one is going to generate a quiz for me. So this one I really love because I know that you all have so many materials already, but you might want to have more practice opportunities for students. So you could bring in your lesson plan that you're already teaching, and maybe you already have some worksheets or quizzes about this, but here you can make more. So for those students who need more practice, or you just want to review the materials a little bit more, you can generate as many of these as you want. So it'll take about 30 to 60 seconds, as you can see, and then it's going to output a multiple choice quiz for me, since that's the category I clicked on. That I, again, can export it in a number of ways. And I can also do something special where I can generate a student play link, so that if I want students to do this on their devices, I can just share the link with them, and then it's going to give me that play link. This one is taking a few minutes, so I might come back to it in just a minute. So I'm just looking in the chat for some questions. Oh, here it comes. How do you get the Padlet TA button available on your account page? Great question. So when you're on Padlet, if you're not seeing this TA link, it's just showing up for educators, but you can change your account to have that role. And that's because the Padlet TA tools are all meant for education, and some of our Padlet users use for other purposes. So if I wanted to come to my settings right here, and then you can do this on your account type right here should be either teacher or school staff. You can change that for yourself, and then it'll show up for you on the top there. And for the language output, I see a question about that as well. Let me come back to TA here. For the language output, the language that you prompt in will be the language that it outputs in. And then you can also change your language settings here. So if you do both those things and you prompt in that it'll output in the language that you prompt in. Okay, and can it also create questions from the leveled up or down text? So you can do that. It'll just be in multiple steps. So, and we're hoping to do where you can create a whole set of different activities based on one prompt. Right now, you just create them all separately. So after I created that leveled text, I could save it to my Google Docs or as a PDF, and then I could upload it as context, just the way I did here with the anatomy lesson. I could upload that text that I just created and then use it as context to make questions. Um, all right. So here is my multiple choice, and I can copy the student play link. And now I can share this link with students. And this is what I was talking about earlier with the interactivity. We're really leaning into this so that you can share this link. Every student will have their own kind of version of this. They won't be doing this collaboratively. And then they can come here and answer these questions. After they answer it, and I'll let you try one of these in just a minute. After they answer this, you can hit submit and they'll get some feedback. Right now, this isn't meant to be a quiz where you're seeing their answers, but it's just meant to be practice. Soon we will have more options for actually tracking student progress and seeing their answers. But right now, this is just a way for students to get those extra cycles and feedback on something that they're learning. We do have one possibility if you do want that to see the results and see and really kind of quiz students. You can export it to Google Forms quiz, and there you'll be able to have students sign in, or you could certainly download this to paper and have a real quiz that you grade as well. I just see one other question in the chat. We will be sharing this recording afterwards, and I'll share all those resources at the end. Oh, good question. To do any of these activities, they do not need a Padlet account. Students can just go to the link and they can participate without logging in. Okay, thanks for all these great questions. Next, I'm going to show you a whole library that we're developing. Julia has been setting this up, which is great, together with our colleague Clea. We've been making a bunch of examples that you can see at all different grade levels. Some things I've heard from teachers is that it's a really great way to make substitute plans for times when you're not going to be there. A hook activity, you might already have a lesson plan, but you want a fun game or something to get people started. Level text I already showed you. And also those kind of themed activities or timely activities, whether it's a news article or a theme or a holiday that's coming up, to make those kind of extra activities that might be in your curriculum. So let me show you this example library, and I'm going to put this in the chat also. So I'm really excited about this, and we're going to keep adding more and more examples to this. And I'll show you how you can use this, because this has lots of different examples. You can see we have the different categories for sorting activity, sequencing. If you come over here, you'll see multiple choice quiz. So there's lots of examples for all the different tools on TA. And there's almost too many tools, really. So I'll show you how you can filter this to find just the ones that you want. The directions are over here as well if you are coming back later and can't remember. But for right now, if you want to join me on this Padlet, come to the search bar in the upper right. And here you could search for a word if you have a particular activity that you're looking for. But this little filter funnel is what I want to show you right here. So I clicked in the upper right, and then I clicked on this funnel. And here we have all these different tabs. You can choose your age group, you can choose your subject area. And so I know that a lot of folks on the call today are teaching older students. So I'm just going to go to my 18 plus here. And now I am filtering. Oh, I don't have too many of those here. So I will include also my 14 through 17. We'll be developing more of those soon. But I'm 14 and up is what I'll show you now. So here you have a lot of activities that are just for those ages. And then I can also filter at the for subject area. So let's say I want science activities for my kind of older students here. And now I can explore some of these things, like, for example, the stellar life cycle, I should say. So you have these choices here. This is a sequencing activity. So I'll show you this play link in the chat right now. Here we go. So you can come and try this. And this is what you could do students. You could make one of these matching, sorting, sequencing activities, share the link with them. It's a fun opener that you do. I've been doing this with some students and just having them pair up on a computer so they also are talking about it. And then all they do, and you can see it has some sound to it too. And after you put all the things in the spots, you can hit submit and it'll give you some feedback just like that multiple choice quiz did. So lots of other examples. There's sequencing, there's matching, and we have things in a number of different subject areas. So let me reset. So we have all the subjects. So I really encourage you to use these filters, and then you can find things that are most appropriate for your age. So here's an example of finding the Greek roots for different things. And you can see in that last example, there was sound associated with it. And in this example, there is not sound. So you can use that when you prompt as well. So I can put these in here. I'm probably going to get some of these wrong just doing this quickly. Um, and then you'll see after I put those in there, I can hit submit, right or wrong answers, and then I can either retry my wrong answers or start from the beginning. I'll put this one in the chat too. So again, you can make as many of these as you want. You can share these with students as an opener activity, or if there's a quiz you're studying for and you want to get them extra cycles and just a different way to practice the information that's a little bit more visual, but it's also super quick to create. Yes, and this can be done in all languages as well. So if you come back to, so our examples are in English, but if you want to make your examples in a different language, I'll put the TA link back in here. You can come to Padlet TA, and scrolling to the bottom is where all interactive activities are. So if you wanted to make a matching game or sorting or a sequencing, you could just click into this one and then you could prompt this in the language of your choice. And when you hit submit, it'll output it in that. And then you'll have those same options that I did to get a play link. All right, well, I'm going to give you a few moments to look around in this example library. You can use those filter options in the upper right by clicking on this little funnel, and then choose what you want in terms of subject area or age level. I'm just going to put this back. And then while I do that, I'll just check with Julia if there's any other questions that you wanted to highlight for the group. Just been answering them as you go.
Yeah, lots of great questions in the chat. I think maybe two things to address. We had some questions about TA offering differentiated activities. I know we have some tools that kind of do that by default. And obviously, when you use a tool, you can choose kind of what is appropriate. And I was wondering if you could expand on that and then just give some ideas for, I know that currently the examples board has a limited number of activities for a more narrow set of ages, but just giving ideas for how you could use it for maybe older students or much younger students and how that's possible.
Yeah, great questions. It's one of the things I love most about Padlet TA, that it really enables you to make those differentiated activities very quickly. So I showed you that in the text leveler, but it's really true for any of these tools. And for most of them, the best way to do that is to just make multiple versions. You can make as many things as you want. So after you make something, like I'll go into my history, I made this you can duplicate it in the upper right. So I can keep this copy because I want this one, and then I can make a duplicate of it and make another version of it. So even though it's kind of you're making it things multiple times for the different students, it's really quick. And you can just copy something, make a small change to it, and make another version of it. Also, I'd say for differentiating, these interactive activities are such a great way to get more practice for students. And that practice can be at any level, that automated feedback from the right and wrong answers. And it's just a different way to practice. So you can come over here and make a quiz or a matching game and based on your lesson plan, but you can make, again, you can make different versions. You can say, give me a simpler version for students who need more practice with the basics. And then you can say, make a challenging version of this. And so students have that extension as well. And then to go back to the question about younger and older students, there are some examples, I didn't show them yet, I'll come over here to my younger students. I'll reset this. There's quite a few examples on here for younger students. For example, the butterfly life cycle. And again, these can have audios and visuals. So even for our pre-readers, they're very friendly and they can do that kind of drag and drop kind of activities. There's many other things you can do on Padlet TA. Let me come back here for more advanced activities. And I really to use the references. So whether I'm making rubric or a presentation, when I first click into it, I have these ability to upload a reference document, and that'll allow me to really level things for my students. So if we're studying a really advanced topic in university, I can give it a file, a link, a video, and I can make the materials based on that, and it'll level it up to be more advanced if I give it that context. I can also just describe a standard or something or a more detailed explanation and tell it to do something more advanced in the instructions, and it'll give me that more advanced information. Sadly, we are running out of time. It always sneaks up on me. I have one more interactive piece for you because I saw so many great questions in the chat and examples. So I'm just going to put this link in the chat. If you want to add a post here, what ideas do you have for you? Padlet TA. There are, I know you have tons of ideas, and I think that might be a good answer to some of those questions as well, is finding out from each other what your ideas are, seeing some of these examples. So if you come to this Padlet, click on the plus button here, and you are always welcome to use attachments, but you can also just write in text. So one of my favorites is a text leveler. So I might say with an existing lesson plan, making multiple versions of a reading passage. Do I see an idea for icebreakers? You add some things there as I wrap up with some final resources. I'm going to put. We always love to get your feedback. So after you participate on that Padlet, if you have a moment to fill out a quick feedback form, we would really appreciate that. Oh yeah, and I see question about will the resource Padlet stay there? Yes, it will. I'm not going to take it down. So if you bookmark that, you can always come back to these resources. There's today's resources and a couple of other things. If you want to access this recording or future webinars, we have a webinar page here. All of these links that I'm putting in are at the bottom of this page too. So you can always come back to this main landing page that won't go away, and you can access all of these resources. For those interested in going a little deeper in Padlet, we also have some PD courses here that you can take on your own. So I'll put the direct link into that. But again, everything is on that main resource page. And thank you so much for coming. We hope to see you at some future sessions. And I love all these ideas. This is amazing. I see so many different subject areas and so many different ideas for how to use these tools. So I look forward to seeing what you all do. The very last thing I'll say is we always love to hear from you. So if you want to email us, you can always reach us at hello@padlet.com with questions, things that don't work, or celebrations of great things you're doing with Padlet or Padlet TA. Hope to see you soon, or hope you get in touch with us if you have any questions. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you soon.